Esera Tuaolo here, a.k.a. Mr. Aloha. You are watching Sconni Sports Show.
Welcome to a special edition episode of the Sconni Sports Show. I'm your host, MD Lovelace. Special guest joining me today. He has a big event coming out this weekend as part of the Super Bowl festivities for the NFL. He is none other than former Green Bay Packer, Atlanta Falcon, Minnesota Vikings, and he's one hell of a chef. His name, Esera Tuaolo, who's a good friend of our show. So, Esera, thanks for joining me again.
Hey, aloha. Thank you, buddy, for having me. This is incredible. So, it's good to be back on your show.
Right? Twice in one day, you're going to get sick of me.
Oh,
for those who aren't watching in the
that's
feed,
right. I saw you post something. They missed a hell of a show earlier because it was absolutely amazing. I mean, I was pouring out my heart and soul to all of it. And so, yeah. So, hopefully you got the record button on right now.
I do. So.
Yeah, I have an organization called Hate is Wrong, and we foster diversity and inclusion. Also, we raise money for anti-bullying programs. We have two events that we throw during the Super Bowl. One is a Hate is Wrong Super Bowl inclusion panel, and then also one is a Hate is Wrong Super Bowl inclusion party. The panel is tonight, Friday. We're bringing in some panelists from around the country to talk on inclusion, diversity, racial diversity, and everything under the sun. We're trying to keep those conversations that we had in 2020, or to keep the conversations of inclusion and diversity going, right? And so we're having it tonight. Hope people can join in. And then also tomorrow, Saturday, we have the party, and the party is a party with a purpose because we're raising money for anti-bullying programs. I have brought together some amazing artists, performing artists from around the country. We have Sean Hook's going to be performing. We have Cammie Brown. We got a lot of people. I'm going to be performing and stuff, so that's all you need to know. But we're going to have it tomorrow. It's at 7 p.m. Central, and we're going to be live streaming both events on our Hate is Wrong YouTube, so go subscribe, and also Hate in Any Form is Wrong Facebook page. So
nice. So you mentioned this panel. For those who don't understand the word inclusion or kind of what you're trying to accomplish with that, describe a little bit more about that.
Well, we're trying to bring some experts. We have Billy Bean, who is the ambassador for inclusion for MLB. We have Ann Doper, who is the director for the inclusion for the Minnesota Vikings. We have Tony Richardson, who played in the NFL for 100 years. He's with the NFL Legends community. He's going to be a part of the panel as well. We're also bringing in some politics in the mix. So we are bringing the first woman governor of Oregon, and she's going to be on the panel, Barbara Roberts. And then also we have the first African-American transgender to be elected to office, city council here in Minnesota. Andrea Jenkins is going to be on. Also Sid Ziegler, who is the founder of Outsports.com, also the co-author of My Life on the Line. He's going to be moderating the whole event. We have Bonnie Thorson, who's with the WNBA. So we have an eclectic group of people coming together to talk about inclusion, diversity, and social diversity, and a lot of things. We're trying to make it a safer environment for athletes out there, no matter where they stand in their gender or whoever they decide to love. So that's what we're doing tonight.
Nice. So what is the main goal of the program tonight? Would you say it's just to bring more overall attention, to get people to kind of feel more comfortable? What's the main purpose?
I think the main purpose and stuff is we've sort of kind of learned some things in 2020 that we're all in it together, right? Every group that's trying to fight for justice or fighting for equality or inclusion, we are all in it together. So bringing these people together to sort of kind of educate, discuss, learn, and heal. So that's, we're trying to, there's so many people out there that are searching for answers, so many people out there that want this type of discussion to be heard, and that's why we're bringing it to the table.
Nice. So Tell us a little bit about your backstory, you know, kind of how and why you came out, and then what the driving force was behind that.
Okay. So I played in the NFL for 9 years, and coming out back in 2002 with my family, I had the opportunity to live in my truth, and it felt so amazing. So what we're doing with Hate Is Wrong is that I created this organization so we could first of all, have a presence at the Super Bowl, because I've been at the Super Bowl I've been 12 times to the Super Bowl. Played once with the Atlanta Falcons back in the days. I think a lot of the Packer fans loving that because we beat the Vikings to go that year. So I wanted to make sure there was no presence there for LGBTQ, right? For athletes like me, like Ryan O'Callahan, for David Copay or Roy Sims. And so what I did is I wanted to sort of do something so we could have a presence at the Super Bowl. The Inclusion Party, that's where we started. And then we started raising money for anti-bullying programs. We have supported a bunch of organizations throughout our 4 years. This is our 4th year. It's growing every single year. We submitted the panel in Atlanta Super Bowl because there's so many discussions on inclusion and diversity within sports and the LGBTQ community, African community, and all of that. So we started the panel, and it was successful. So this is our 2nd annual panel that we're having tonight.
Nice. So you said, you know, kind of your backstory on why you came out. You know, you kind of mentioned a little bit before, but I want you to kind of get a little more in depth. You know, what made you finally decide to do that? Like, what led up to it? What was childhood like growing up to that moment as well, you know, to that point?
Well, I think the reason why we discussed earlier and stuff, the reason why I decided to come out is because we were tired of living a lie, right? We're tired of living in the closet and secrecy. And, you know, my partner at the time, we had children. And so raising our kids in the closet was very difficult, right? Meaning, you know, going to schools and making sure that they accept, you know, two same parents, and it was same gender parents. And it was very difficult because sometimes we would go to these meetings and it was just like, you could clearly see that they was not welcoming, right? So what we did, the reason why we came out basically was that we wanted to be happy, but also we wanted our children to know that their father was proud of who they were. But also we wanted to make sure that we created a change, right? And so that's why we came out. We came out because of that. My backstory growing up when I was a little kid, you know, I knew that I was gay since I think day one. I think it's one of those things where, you know, you're different. You get a crush and the crush is on a boy instead of a girl. Also, you see your friends beating up this other kid and stuff on the playground, calling him names like fakalati, fafafine, and that means gay, faggot. And then, you know, asking my friends, so what is that? Like, why are you guys saying that? Well, he likes playing with girls. He likes playing with dolls. He likes hanging out with them, and he likes boys. And then I was thinking to myself, well, that's me. You know, that's me and stuff. So that is the day I tell everybody that I took that child within me and I threw him in the closet, right? And I threw him in the closet, and because I didn't want to get picked on. I didn't want to be spit. I didn't want to be called names and stuff like that. So that is the day I started becoming an actor, right? I had to be bigger and stronger and faster than anyone, so no one would know that I was gay, right? And as you grow older, and you sort of kind of find out the meaning of the word faggot, right? And the meaning of the word gay. And you see how it's so much hated from so many people, right? So then you sort of kind of go further and further and further in the closet. Well, it took me 35 years to come out of the closet. It took me 35 years to sort of feel comfortable that I could be in my own skin, right? I came out on Real Sports, Brian Gumbel, Real Sports. And I tell you what, that was the most difficult day of my life, but also the most liberating day of my life, because anybody knows when you're living with a secret, a crippling secret, that is, you know, it's hard, right? Every single day that I woke up, when I played football, getting ready, walking to that locker room and transforming myself into somebody I wasn't, like a straight man. And not only that, having to hide and look over my shoulder or watch what I say. Every time the topic of homosexuality would come up, it was always negative. Every time the word faggot or queer, there's always a fight or something going on, right? So that compiled with everything is one of the reasons why we came out. Our children, and we just wanted to be happy.
And you said earlier, you guys had some pretty elaborate ways to discuss your relationship at the time. I know you had said, one time it was an uncle, one time it was the babysitter.
Yeah.
Can I share with some people the things that you had to go? What extremes did you have to go to in order to hide?
It was, let's just put it this way. Like he was with me like 2 years into my, not 2 years, like the last 2 years of my career. And so can you imagine being in the NFL and imagine your partner for life, the partner that you love, have to go sit somewhere else and not with the wives, right? Having to go to the Christmas parties without them, right? You're taking a woman to the Christmas party to hide those things, right? Having to go to the strip clubs to sort of kind of hide those things. So it's one of those things and stuff. Yeah, we had so much, when he would visit, he was either my agent, my manager, because he looked good in a suit, and, he was babysitter. He was like, there's so many things that, so many names that he had. I think we lost count of how many, or, how many situations and stuff that we sort of kind of gave him different names, right? So no one should live like that, right? No one, I don't care who you are. No one should have to live like that and not be able to share the person that you love. I don't care if it's the same sex or it's opposite sex or whatever. No, I won't say whatever it is because I don't, some people take that to the extreme when they say whatever it is, right? So I won't say that. So same sex and then and straight marriages and stuff like that. So.
Nice. So being one of the kind of the pioneers to come out and be openly gay, I mean, is it a thing now that you look at and kind of now with pride and you wish you had maybe done it sooner? Or is it one of those things where you think the timing was just perfect with where you went through it?
I mean, for me, I think the timing was perfect because back in those days, it wasn't fun, right? There was hardly any education. There was no support at all. And it was one thing. Every time the topic, like I said earlier, came, it was always negative, right? It was always negative. It was something that it wasn't positive at all. As we fast forward now with all the education and athletes coming out and being on the political realm of, remember, I'm not sure if you remember, but when they had gay marriages, when they first put it on the ballot and stuff like that, people were jumping on board against it because that would elect them. Right. So that soon changed, right? Because it became an equality issue. And so as we fast forward now and all the education is out there, all the athletes are coming out and people coming out, it is, it definitely has changed for the better, right? You have kids now, like my children's age, they don't feel a need that they have to come out because their straight friends didn't come out, right? They're just living their lives, which is so awesome. And again, I keep telling people this, it's all about the education that's put forth, right? It's all about talking about the issues. That's why we're having this discussion tonight on the panel, right? It's about, if you don't talk about it, you won't know about it, and you won't know how to deal with it, and you won't heal, right? So that's why we're talking about that. And so, it's the world has definitely is changing, right, for the better, and that's all due because of people that came before us. So.
Now, how long after your playing career was this announcement?
I'm sorry?
How long after your playing days did you make the announcement?
We came out, I retired in 2000 and we came out in 2002.
Yeah. Okay. And then you made a couple of pit stops on your way, kind of, being that nobody had ever done this before, you kind of made your rounds. So 2 famous women when it comes to media, Oprah and Ellen. Talk to me about those situations, what that was like.
Oh my gosh, Oprah, the queen. Back, everybody knew Oprah, right? Everybody knows Oprah. It was great. We came out in 2002 and 2007, I believe, or 6, the Oprah show called and wanted us to come on to tell our story. And what a beautiful, platform to do that, right? To go on Oprah show. She's absolutely amazing. And to tell your story. So it was a lot of fun. I was able to take my mom. The kids stayed at home and stuff like that, but she was very engaging, very nice, super nice. And it was such an amazing experience. I just wish that I had my book, Alone in the Trenches, right? Because then, anything that she talks about goes to gold, right?
Yeah. And you said Ellen. Now, Ellen's taken a lot of flack the last, couple months of every kind of scandal potentially ever. It seems crazy. Was there a big difference? I mean, was the comfort level a little different at your time with Ellen, being that she came from the lesbian community versus like you said, kind of a fanboy moment of Oprah. I mean, was it any different, in that context, or you're pretty well practiced by then?
Well, Ellen is like the Oprah of, the Oprah of now, right? I mean, let's be truthful now. I mean, when she came out back in the days and stuff, Hollywood kicked her out, right? It took her a long time to get to where she is again, fighting all the negativity and everyone, calling her out and firing her and excluding her because she was a lesbian back in those days, right? So I admire all the things that she's done to sort of kind of work her way back to the top. And again, I mean, all that controversy about Ellen, and I can't speak for anyone, and I'm not disrespecting, and I'm not diffusing anyone's comments that they have on Ellen. But all I know and stuff is when I met her, she was very engaging. She was very nice. She had me on the show, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So all those things that I was reading about, from other people, other guests, workers, hey, those things may have happened and stuff, but it's like I said, I don't know. I don't know what happened to them, but I do know what happened to me. So when I posted something like sort of like just telling people like, yeah, I had a beautiful experience. I mean, people were like hating on me, and people were like, oh, I can't believe that you're taking away the integrity of all the stories. I'm like, I'm not taking away any of that integrity. I'm just telling people that I had a great experience. If I had a horrible experience, I would be, part of the group saying I had a horrible experience. So the thing about, we have no control over what people think, right? Or what people do, right? And so we only can have control of your own destiny. You look in the mirror. That's who you have control over.
Now, you had mentioned a pretty good other topic before. You were talking about a very good friend of yours that's been, again, making waves in the NFL. Seems like he's always talking about something. But you said you're depending on him because obviously he's your friend, but because of the movements he's trying to make. So why don't you tell everybody about that story?
Brett Favre, when I interviewed him on my podcast, that's on Hate Is Wrong, by the way, if people want to go look at it. Yeah, I interviewed Brett Favre on my podcast, Mr. Aloha podcast. And I tell you what, I got a lot of slack for that. People were getting on him because he took a picture with Trump as they were golfing. And, again, I would tell people I have no control over what. But all I know and stuff, when I played in Green Bay with Brett, he became a friend. He became a brother. And as you can see on the podcast, the camaraderie or the friendship that we have, it's a lot more than anything else. And so the reason, and, he was able to explain why he was golfing with Trump. And he's working on a solution for concussions. And the company that he's working for, right? It would have been, so he went to go and try to go to the top, right? So everybody knows it's one of those things where if you want something done, you can't mess around with anybody in the middle or down, but you have to go to the top. So he's thinking, I'll go and just have a conversation and see what happens. So it's all in the podcast if people want to go check it out. But again, I can't, I have no control. Like he's my brother. He's my friend. I mean, I know him. I have him on speed dial if I need him and stuff. And he's, he's got my back as well.
So you mentioned, nobody really had any idea prior to the announcement. What was the reaction of a guy like Favre when he first came out, being that he's a down home South Mississippi guy where this is obviously hugely frowned upon? What was the initial reaction of some of the teammates or friends that you had at that time?
Well, I tell you what, Brett was supportive, and he didn't say anything, but the Packers put me on the bus list, right? I'm not sure if you know what the bus list is, right?
I'll let you explain to everybody.
The bus list, right, is people that they have, people that teams recruit and amount to nothing, right? And then they had a bunch of names, and then they had me, right? That's when so anyway, but how can someone who started as a rookie, all 16 games, and the first to start in Packer history, right? And who made the all rookie team. So I'm a bust. Like I couldn't believe that. So when that happened and stuff, Brett Favre said something. He said, "How can you say Ezra is a bust? Because how can you say Tuaolo is a bust when he did all of this for you guys and stuff?" And so he's the bust. And then they let me go. They let me go the year after, right? And so it's one of those things where, it's just crazy, right? So as far as Brett, Brett supported me, and I appreciate that and stuff. He wasn't verbally, obviously, but the due support. And I didn't expect it. I didn't come out to get anybody's approval. I didn't come out to get anybody's like love or anything out. I came out for my children and for myself, right? And so, yes, if you're asking a question, did I lose a lot of friends? Of course. 60% of my friends that I played in the NFL walked away, right? 60. But you know what? I didn't care. I just kept living my life, right? And they living my life. And I got to tell you this right now, 100% of them has come back and apologized. Some took 3 years, some took 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, right? And one just recently, a couple months ago, right? Apologizing for their reaction because, they're wrong. They wasn't too educated on it. Whatever the reason is, I didn't care, right? Because all I wanted what they had. All I want is what people that are watching your podcast have. Happiness, right? That's all that we want in the lifetime, even with your family, for your family and all of that. So, so they come back, everybody's come back, but no skin off my back because they're the ones who lost all those years of my friendship. I kept living my life. I kept doing what I'm doing. Like I told you earlier and stuff, I had to quote Shakespeare when I came out, to be or not to be, right? To be, have the 2 kids, to not to be, to have the 2 kids, the white picket fence, the 2 dogs minus the wife, right? And just live my life, or to be where I can become part of the solution, right? I can help people. I can help people like me. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to help people like me, part of the LGBTQ community, just to make it a better world. Gay marriages came, now that gay marriage is up, it's so awesome, right? The sky hasn't fallen or anything like that. People aren't losing their jobs because of gay marriages or anything like that, right? How people were so negative about it. It's just one of those things where it really doesn't matter if you think about it. So
now, what is it? I didn't ask you this earlier, so be ready for curveball here. What do you think it was within you? Was it your upbringing? Was it your own faith? What was it that was able to give you the ability to forgive these people that basically betrayed you? That you thought were friends?
Easy. Super simple answer. God. That's it. That's my answer for you. God. Right. That's how when you have God in your life, you're able to forgive. When you have God in your life, you're able to love. When you have God in your life, you're able to sort of have a different source to ask for help and stuff like that, right? So yes, I am a Christian. I grew up the First Assembly of God Samoan Hallelujah Church. I've read the Bible a couple times. So if you're going to come with verses, you better come with a lot, because if you don't know the Bible, then you need to take a seat. So it's one of those things. I know that my God loves me, but the problem I have is that people telling me that I'm going to hell when they have no authority, right? No authority at all. But what they need to think about is themselves. Because when they go to Judgment Day, and if you're of Christian faith, you know all of this. If you go to Judgment Day, and if God asks you, why did you discriminate against my child, Ezra, and the LGBTQ community, what are you going to say? Because he's gay? You might really want to reevaluate that one, right? Because we need to love. That's what God is all about. It's about loving people. It's about positive energy and all of that.
So you mentioned having 2 kids now that are now 20 years old. Beautiful kids, by the way.
Thank you.
What kind of impact did this have on them? I mean, the kids understood everything, right? Like they were in what about the rest of the family? Did everybody else kind of understand, obviously, come to the holidays and stuff? Or was that another experience where you had to kind of hide him a little bit?
Yeah, in the beginning, it was like that. We didn't get the kids until after I played football. But yeah, in the beginning, I had to do the whole line. This is my friend. This is my manager. This is, my agent, my marketing guru, like all that kind of stuff. He had names for him, right? And so, yeah, he did. We did. But it was just, yeah. So it was very difficult back in those days, right? And the kids and all of that, it was just tired of this juggling and lying, right? And
was it a big culture shock for the extended family and those around you, or?
No, I don't think so. And because if you ask everybody right now if they know a gay person, I'm telling you, 100% of people will raise their hand, right? Everybody knows a gay person that's in their life. Some of them just lie and tell you that they don't, right? So it's one of those things where everybody knows. It wasn't a culture shocker at all. And I really can't, I didn't care, to tell you the truth. I mean, look at me. I didn't care. I didn't care about what my family thought. I didn't care what people thought. It was time. 35 years I had to live for other people and live like in the secret. It was time to live for me. It was me time. I had to get Esera out there. I had to get free of that crippling secret that I was living in and stuff. So I wanted my family, I wanted my kids to know that their dads were proud of who they were and not hiding. We didn't want to raise our kids in the closet, you know. So I think your viewers should understand, like, all of those things are all factors in your life that, you know, that it just sort of kind of pushes you to a point where, you know what, you have to make the hard decision. And that hard decision and stuff is either happiness or you continue on the road to sadness, right? So
you had mentioned, obviously, you know, the pride you feel now. Was there any major negative connotation to this announcement that you didn't really expect?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, definitely. You know, when we came out, everybody came out of the woodworks. We had tremendous support from a lot of people around the world. And then we also had those haters, right? And the ones that would tell me that I was an abomination, my kids was an abomination, my parents were an abomination. I mean, it was just one thing after another, death threats and stuff like that, right? So we were so scared and fearful, not just for us, but for our kids, right? We just wanted, so we sheltered them away from people because we didn't want people to know who they were and stuff like that. So it was very, you know, it was hard, but I tell you what, very liberating, and to like be able to come out in your truth and live your truth and walk down the street and everybody know that you're a family, right? And not have to lie. The simple and the little things that my straight friends, but straight players took for granted is the things that we wanted. The things I wanted, right? That's the love, the respect from other people, to introduce my partner and my kids to, I got to tell you this story now that we brought this up, right? Super Bowl, right? Super Bowl 98, I went with the Atlanta Falcons. Can you imagine, right? Can you imagine this, not being able to share the person that you love? That is the cream of the crop. That is you at the Super Bowl, right? As I'm sitting in the lobby, I see all these families walk in, people introducing them to the families, the coaches, the players, everybody's happy. My guy walks in and stuff, and he has to give me a signal, and he has to, like, we living in the shadows. I mean, you think that's right? I play in the game that we were supposed to win. On the way back, as we're walking off the bus, you know, everybody's hugging, all the wives are there. I pass my guy and tell it and give him a signal that we're going to meet in the room. I mean, how is that? Those are memories I can't get back. Memories nobody can get back. You know how hard it is to go to the Super Bowl, unless you're Tom Brady. But I mean, you know, it's
easy. That's a sore subject here in Green Bay right now.
Right, I know. But I'm just saying, it's just one of those things where you just, you know, it's one of those things where it's, we just wanted to be happy. See, I've been telling you guys all of this. It's sort of kind of just circling back to that happiness.
So let's take a little off break from this subject. Let's go to some of the fun stuff.
Yay!
Voice experience. Walk me through kind of how that came to be. I mean, how did they ever search you out for that? Or did you just start stalking them and saying, hey, put me on? How did that go?
No. First of all, I'm 52 years old. And first of all, I felt too old to be on one of those shows, right? That was my thinking. And then I got a phone call out of the blues by one of the, I guess, producers saying that they wanted me to come to a private audition in Chicago. I'm like, first I thought it was a joke. You know, I was like, really? And I was like, really? And I thought, you know, and then it's like, well, send me the information. So I went to Chicago. I got my, I got my audition on, and then before you know it, I was in Hollywood with 80 other people, right? And going in front of the judges for the blind auditions and singing "Rise Up." So it's like, so that was that experience, but it was so cool. And I remember just I was the oldest person there. Seeing against like the 16, you're like 15 years old, you know, seeing some 15 years old, it's like, oh my gosh, you know, you're competing against that. It's like, okay. But I had a fun time. It was a great experience. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I got to meet some amazing people. I got to make some great friends. I was on Team Blake. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Hold on, I'm going to shut the thing because the sun is coming in. Oh, it was a lot better.
So what was your highlight of doing the voice? What was your biggest, like, either wow moment, or what was the moment that really stood out to you for doing that event?
I think the blind auditions, because, you know, you're so nervous, you're hoping that somebody would turn around. So because if they don't turn around, you go back home. So when the blind auditions, I sang "Rise Up." "Rise Up" was my song that I sang at the for the blind audition, and Jennifer Hudson turned around along with Team Blake, and so I chose Blake. I was on Team Blake.
So what kind of persuaded you to go to Blake instead of Jordan in this one?
I think the bromance. No, you tell you the truth. Somebody told me and stuff that Blake was homophobic. So
really,
and so yes, but I'm not saying he is. So please don't start a rumor or anything like that, right? So, and then so I was like, I chose him because what better way to sort of kind of change somebody's attitude or perception of something when you just sort of kind of put it in their face, right? So, but also we had the football thing. He was a football fan. Also had a great track record. So why not? And then also I was thinking about it. Well, Jennifer Hudson is going to like power her group with a bunch of big boy singers, right? And Blake is more country and, country singers and stuff. So not that they don't have big voices, but I chose him because I was the big voice on their thing where, with all those country singers. So I chose him. And it was great because I made some great friends and stuff like that. Blake was awesome. Yeah, we had discussions and stuff. The dude, he was cool. He was a good mentor.
How often do you really get to spend with those artists when you're doing this? I mean, are you guys all the time? Is it just kind of a quick, brief 10-minute thing? Like, what time do you really get? Because again, we see the edited version, just like people could see this. If I really wanted to and had the energy and a staff, we could edit this thing out any way we want. But what kind of a realistic, day front did you have with this?
Well, because there's so many performers and it's sort of like in and out. So when you're ending one show, they're starting another show. So it's sort of like that mix of things. So yeah, you don't spend like, obviously they portray you like spending the whole time like you're going out to dinners and stuff like that. But no, it's not like that. You spend time mentoring with them. They coach you and stuff like that. You spend more time with your voice coach, who Shalani was the head of the voice coaches there, and she's absolutely amazing. But yeah, you just spend a little bit of time, and then you sort of kind of factor everything in. So
nice. So in case people are wondering why my camera's shaking, we have an 85-pound lapdog that apparently needs to say hi. Apparently likes your voice. So you mentioned a song that you really enjoyed was "Rise Up." Was that kind of like your big standout song for you that you were able to perform, or was there another one that really stood up for you?
Well, no, I think that's the song they chose for me. So it's one of the things they choose the songs and stuff for you. So you have to learn it. But unfortunately, I love "Rise Up," her in it. So having the opportunity to sing it, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Had to learn it. I did a little twist on it and I made it my own. And so, but I kept the integrity of it. If people want to listen to that, they can go on iTunes and just the voice. They can check out the audition, or they can just go on they can go on YouTube and put it in.
Nice. I might just happen to put a link in there for you. So for a music man, who would be your dream duet, living or past?
Oh my gosh. Well, the past would be Whitney Houston, right? God bless her soul. Would have loved to sing with her. I think she was the greatest singer of all time in her prime. I would have to say that. But then now, the living, Beyonce. Beyonce would be an amazing person to sing a duet with, but I don't, dancing and stuff, I would have to get my knees replaced before I could do like her moves and stuff like that. But as far as a duet, she would be the one. So.
Okay. Go-to song, just in general, like if there's one song on Esera's playlist over and over and over, like what's the first song that pops up on your playlist?
Oh my gosh. Well, on my playlist, the first song that pops up is "Cool" by Anthony Hamilton. That's the song that comes up on my playlist. My first song I love. It's a good jam. But one of my favorite songs, or the favorite song, and it's hard. It's like picking your first child or something like that. Your favorite child. I'm sorry, but I would have to say "Rise Up." Yeah, "Rise Up" is one of my favorites. It's inspirational. It's powerful, and it has a great message.
Nice. I always think of Anthony Hamilton being on the Chappelle Show way back when.
Yeah.
So that was definitely where that came in. So let's go to your other hobbies. Cooking. You are the Mr. Aloha chef and culinary expert / mean, did you ever get formal training, or is this all just
Yeah,
Polynesian?
I got 18 years with Mama. That is my training. 18 years with Mama. Yeah, I am the executive chef for a restaurant called The Landing in Provincetown. And so I've been cooking there. I've been catering forever, 25, 30 years I've been catering. I have also been a part of the Taste of the NFL, the hottest party in the NFL and Super Bowl. Also the Taste of the Master Chef, the golf thing down in Augusta, Georgia. And then also I won the Vikings Taste of the Minnesota Vikings. So cooking has always been in my life. I love what I do. My forte is Polynesian, so I love to fuse the Polynesian sort of cuisines with like other cultures and try to mix it together and see if we can come up with stuff, right? Thinking outside the box and just sort of kind of fusing all those flavors. Polynesian, true Polynesian before Asian influence. Right? It's very bland, but delicious. It's like we make sure that you taste what you're eating and it's not like clouded by teriyaki sauces and all of that stuff, all these sauces or spices or anything like that, right? All we had was salt and coconut milk back in the day trying to cook with. So, but yeah, I love cooking, and it's one of my passions and stuff. And all my recipes is all my mom's, and I just doctor them up and make them mine.
So 1991, there was a certain cookbook out for the Green Bay Packers. You picked one of the most unique, I guess is the nicest way to put this.
You're supposed to ask me about my favorite dishes, right? So that
I did in there, but yeah. So your favorite dish. Again, 1991, you let Packer Nation know all about it. Tell everybody what that dish is.
Yeah, this is my go-to dish and stuff that I, sort of kind of like want to wow people or something different. It's not like my favorite dish. I love it. But my go-to dish is dishwasher fish. I put it in the Packer cookbook back in 1991. And it's one of those things where people are like, what? Fish in the dishwasher? So, but it's just super simple. You get those packets now. You can get those turkey bags that you cook the turkeys in. And so you put the fish in there, you chop up vegetables very thinly, and you put it into there. You put a sauce in there. You tie it up really, really good. Put it on the top shelf of your dishwasher. Put all the dishes in, and put the soap in, and you press start. And I tell you what, it comes out fluffy and delicious, and you're gonna love it. So it's definitely a conversation piece. It's definitely when you have a bunch of friends over, you can make that. You can have wine or beer or whatever you want to drink, and then 30 minutes later or 40 minutes later, boom, you have your meal.
Is there a certain fish that you recommend more than others for that?
Salmon is good for that. Flounder is good. Tilapia. So, it all, bass, it all depends and stuff, what you use. So.
Yeah. So again, remember everybody, hate is wrong. So if it doesn't work out for you and you screw it up, that's on you, not on Ezra. So do not send an email to Sconni Sports Show or Ezra. What other hobbies do you kind of have? Obviously you sing, you cook. What are your other go-to events when you're not doing all this other stuff?
God, I'd have to say me time.
Yeah.
Me time. You got to take some time for yourself. Me time. I've done sort of every hobby I've had I've brought it to the forefront, right? Cooking, singing, all of that, sports, all that. I like going to the gym, but me time. People need to take their me time. They need to sort of decompress, recharge, take some time for yourself, either go away for a weekend. If you have children, have the husband watch it, watch the kids, but you can go do a spa day. People don't realize this stuff, how important that is, to take some time to yourself and get you ready. And I know it's hard, especially if you live a busy life and you have have a big family and stuff like that. But I tell you what, it's much needed. And when you can, I promise you, you'll think back to this podcast and you say, you know what? Ezra was pretty right. He was right. You do. You need to recharge. You have to find a way to do that, especially living in a so stressful and a hateful world. And we need time for yourself to recharge.
Nice. So let's get back to the message and obviously the story at hand. Where do you think we are in terms of understanding and where the NFL itself is in particular with the acceptance of this movement that you're trying to create here?
Well, right now the NFL is doing a fantastic job and stuff with, reaching out to the LGBT community, right? Doing those research, reaching out to them and stuff. But what I'm more involved in and what I want to be more a part of is the teams, right? The teams, the coaches, the owners, the general managers, the players, right? I want that because what we need to do is sort of kind of create a safe environment within the locker rooms and stuff like that, showing, sort of kind of bringing examples or educating a lot of the players about who we are, right? And that we're just like them, right? It's the locker room to us isn't like some erotic place. It's nothing like that. It's not, it's about work. It's about family. It's about us, wanting the same things that they want, right? I mean, I played 9 years in the league and, I was a professional that no one I didn't hit on anyone or anything like that, right? I mean, people go to work. Do you hit on people when you go to work? I mean, some people, I guess, do, right? But there's that respect factor and stuff when it all comes to it. And when you're on a team, and I know you played sports before, that becomes your family. That becomes your brothers. They become your teammates and stuff. You go to battle with them, right? You're not thinking about anything else other than that. Plus, it's your livelihood, right? You work so hard. It's so hard to get to the NFL as is. It's like 1% or something like that every single year, right? Of athletes from around the country. So why would you jeopardize any of that, right? By just something so stupid, right? Although some players do stupid stuff, but still, it's like, it's one of those things, right? I was, it was very fearful for me because I didn't want to lose my job because there's no inclusion, no diversity. I didn't want to lose my job because there was no support. Anytime the topic of homosexuality would come up, it was always negative. People calling each other fags and queers, fights breaking out. So it was just difficult, right? For someone like me, 6'4", 300-pound, Samoan and stuff, being in that type of environment and dealing with all of that. But I tell you what, in the NFL and stuff, hopefully, in the future as we move forward, that's why we're having things like this, the inclusion panel that we're going to be talking about tonight, talking about how can we make it better? How can we educate companies, educate the NFL, corporations, people about how they can be more inclusive, right? And be more diverse. So.
Okay. So you mentioned, the Packers originally calling you a bust, but it's interesting because the Packers definitely have you on speed dial for quite a few things. So you've done a lot with the Packer organization. Again, I always give you crap because I always see your Viking stuff and you live in Minneapolis, not Green Bay. But they've called your number quite a few times for some things. Why don't you tell everybody that, you're on good terms now with them.
Oh my God.
Some things that you've done with them.
No. And even when those, that happened and stuff, I pay homage to the Green Bay Packers. I mean, they gave me my chance, right? They gave me my opportunity. I'm sorry that things didn't work out between us, but no hard feelings or anything like that, man. They gave me my shot in the NFL, right? I love that. I will always be a Packer fan. I will always be, part of the Go Pack, Go Nation and stuff like that. So you have nothing to worry. Even though I live in Minnesota and played here most of my years, yeah, I like the Minnesota Vikings as well. But I gotta tell you this. I take my hats off to the Green Bay Packers because they've done a lot for me. And I just it's just something. I think out of fear, I don't think the Packer organization said that or did that. I think it was probably somebody else, or it was like one of those. I don't know those things that they have, right? And that people just they just talk crap about people, I guess, and then so they put you on the bus list or anything like that, or it might have been you. No, I'm just kidding.
I wasn't doing media yet.
Yeah. I think you weren't even born back then. You're like 4 or 5.
I was alive. I mean,
you're 5 or how old were you back then in 90? Oh my gosh, 91.
91 would have been 6. It's been wrong for us to be friends at that age. That would be a little weird, but.
No, I love the Packers. I love the Packer fans. We have a lot of Packer fans here in Minnesota. No, it's Packer Nation. My heart broke when they lost the game and stuff. It's one of those things. It's a tough break, but hopefully next year, right? We got a fantastic team. We got a lot of people coming back. I'm not sure what the situation with Aaron Rodgers and your new quarterback is, but I'm sure you guys will handle it and take care of that. But as far as don't ever think that I am not a Packer backer, because I am. I'm definitely a Packer backer. So
Nice. I was going to ask you that too. What was your thought process on if A-Rod comes back or not? And Aaron Jones thinking that too. So yeah, 12 unrestricted free agents this year. It'll be interesting to see what Green Bay does. So
right.
Super Bowl prediction real quick.
Well, you guys might not want to hear this, but I'm going with the best NFL player that ever played the game, and I'm going to go with Tom Brady. Right, 6 Super Bowl rings, and as you all know, it's all about statistics in the NFL. It's all about your stats and all of that, the stature of everything. So I'm gonna have to go with Tom Brady, and I think he's a great leader and stuff. People hate him because they love him or because he beat up on their team and stuff like that. But I think, somebody said something earlier, like he's so standoffish, and well, he's really not. But you sort of kind of have to develop a thick skin. And I'm sure Aaron Rodgers got this too. You have to develop a thick skin when people are hating on you, right? It's like when he left the Patriots and stuff, all they did was how bad he was going to be, nothing without Belichick, all of this, blah, 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 right? And he goes to Tampa Bay, a team that was in the middle of their division, and he takes them to the Super Bowl. Right, that's great leadership. That's a great quarterback. So I'm going to have to go. I know that's probably the longer answer that you would want, but I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay. Advice that you give to someone, in a similar situation, afraid to come out, afraid to talk to somebody. What are some resources that you maybe have for them? And what's your advice for them in that situation?
They can reach out to me. I'm not one of those people that you can't get a hold of. I have Mr. Aloha is my social media, or Esera Tuaolo, my name. You can find me if you need. There's a bunch of resources out there, that I can revert them to, also, they can use the Googleizer. So the Googleizer and stuff, the Google, right now, there are so many organizations that can help you. So all you need to do is Google, but reach out. There's, like I said, a lot of organizations out there. There's HRC, there's GLAD, out from Minnesota. There's Trevor Project. There's all of that. And so if you are deciding to come out and you live in rural wherever and feel like you don't have the support, all you need to do is just reach out. That's all you need to do. And then also make sure that you're in a safe environment, that you can come out, and that you have some support. So,
all right, that's 30 seconds. I need some good music out of you, because I know you're.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Putting you on the spot, my friend. I didn't do this to you last time. Then we're gonna finish up talking about the event one more time, and we're gonna let you loose.
I just have my ukulele right here. Oh my God, 30 seconds, right? You're broken down and tired. Wait, you're broken down and tired, living life on a merry-go-round. And I can see that fighter. I see it in you. Work it out. Move mountains. Move mountains. And I'll rise up. Rise like a king. And I'll rise up. Rise on the green. I'll rise up. And I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up. High like the waves. And I'll rise up. Without any pain, I'll rise up. And I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you. For you. For you. Yeah, for you. Listen up, Green Bay. All we need is love. For that we have each other. We have each other.
Very impressive, my friend. Pretty damn good for me just throwing you on the spot, man. I appreciate that.
I always have my ukulele close to me, seriously.
I noticed that because, when we first started today, you hit it off to the side, so I knew I was going to bring it back. So a blessing in disguise that I forgot the record button this morning. So, see, I knew what I was doing. I just wanted a song ready.
Nice.
So remind everybody about the event tonight. First of all, it's free. Wisconsin's favorite prize. Free. We love that here in Scottyville.
It's free. It's FREE is free. You can go to inclusionparty.org and get your free ticket. It'll be live streamed on Hate Is Wrong's YouTube. So go and subscribe. Also, Hate Is Any Form Is Wrong Facebook. It's a free ticket. The inclusion panel is tonight in a couple hours here. And then also the inclusion party is tomorrow at 7 p.m. We have some amazing performers. It's going to be a fun time. We're partying with purpose because we are raising money for anti-bullying programs. But please, if you want to go and donate now, go and donate now. Please, hateiswrong.org. Press the donate button, or you can sign up on our mailing list so we can send you information on future events, or you can buy this beautiful t-shirt, right? Hate in any form is wrong, and 100% of the proceeds go to Hate is Wrong. So thank you for this opportunity, my brother. This is awesome. Awesome.
Always good to talk to you. I'm an XL, by the way, for that shirt. And yeah, man, it's great talking to you. And definitely going to try and peek at the event either tonight or tomorrow night for sure. It sounds awesome. And I hope everybody gets a chance to look at it.
Sounds good, brother. Thank you so much. Aloha, everyone.
Appreciate it. Thank you.